My family lived in a haunted mansion. So this was in Malaysia, and this mansion used to belong to a wealthy Chinese family, but it had been abandoned for a long time. And people always said this place was very haunted. So the Chinese believe that there's, the yin and yang. The yin usually stands for everything that's associated with ghosts and the underworld, and yang is more like bright energy. And there's also a belief that children have a lot of yang energy, so in order to displace the yin energy from the hauntings in this mansion, they thought turning it into a school could kind of get rid of the ghosts. So somebody took over this mansion and turned it into a school, and my grandfather became the principal, and my grandmother was a teacher there. So my mom and some of her siblings, when they were little, moved into this mansion. And you can imagine how exciting this was, because they were poor. They had a very simple home before, and they moved into this gorgeous place. And my mom was maybe like 8 years old or something. And the first thing she did is she ran up the stairs. She went into the bathroom where there's this fancy, bathtub. She turns on the water, jumps into the bathtub, and starts playing in the water. Well, next thing you know, one of the teachers stops in front of the bathroom, and she is just turning pale. And she yells at my mother, "Get out of that bathtub now. Don't you ever play in that bathtub again." And later my mom found out that the Japanese military had taken over this mansion during World War II, and they used to interrogate and torture people in that bathtub. And people may have even been killed in that bathtub. So I was actually having dinner with some friends, and June Ahern, the medium that we work with, I was telling the story, and before I even got to the story with the bathtub, she just blurted out, "Oh my God, that bathtub. They did horrible things in that bathtub." So this confirmed that this was a true story to me. But anyway, this place was super haunted. And there was a housekeeper in this place that had psychic abilities. And one morning, early morning, when it was still kind of dark, she was walking up some stairs with a flashlight, and she saw a man walking down the stairs, a grown man. So she assumed it was one of the teachers. And she said, "Good morning, teacher." But he didn't respond to her, so she thought, that's kind of weird. So she turned around and she shined the light on him, and he had no legs. It was just a torso floating down the stairs. And the housekeeper screamed and threw her flashlight and just ran up the stairs. There was also a teacher that was being harassed, yelled at, and even scratched and hit by an invisible force in the room where she was staying. She said she could hear a voice telling her to get out. Also, my mom's older sister, when she was asleep at night, she felt like something was pressing down on her, trying to SA her. And you could say it's just sleep paralysis, but she often woke up with bruises on her thighs. So this place was incredibly haunted by both kind of just neutral spirits and I think some very nasty entities. They think the ghost whose torso was floating down the stairs, it actually looked like the original owner of the mansion. Probably he was killed during World War II by the Japanese. And I have to wonder if the assaults were happening from spirits of the former Japanese soldiers. I don't know. That's just something that I wonder about. Again, my name is Ying. I am the producer of the Haunted Bay Paranormal series, and I also run the ghost tours in Berkeley and San Francisco. The link is in our bio. Our website is thehauntedbay.com.